Hojlund Osimhen swap deal with Napoli. It's getting crazy. It's international break. They need the clicks. We're going to hear what Sky Sports has to say and react on the other side.
We start with the Mirror, who are among a number of papers actually reporting that Napoli are ready to offer Manchester United striker Rasmus Hojlund a return to Serie A, with Victor Osimhen going to Old Trafford as part of a deal. Now, the paper's reporting that Manchester United would want £50 million for the Denmark international, a price they say is too much for the Italian club. Now, as promised, let's have a roundup of the morning's papers now.
50 million United value Hojlund. That's pretty rich, sir. He's valued around 45 million euros for transfer market. Take that with a grain of salt as well. Alex Crook did add on TalkSPORT that interest from Italy and Ineos and Ruben Amorim are not necessarily convinced he's the man to lead the line moving forward, adding additional context to this deal. But there's Osimhen on the other side, who is one of the top strikers in Europe. He is in Turkey. It's not the best league, but United could use a striker like Osimhen. How are you feeling about this? I know you're a big fan of Rasmus Hojlund. Would it be leaving too early for him?
Hey, if this is what it takes to get a player of Osimhen's caliber to Manchester United, given the finances, given where we're at, and also given that maybe Ruben Amorim doesn't rate him, I think you and I would probably agree that he's not necessarily the man to lead the line today. But if this is what it takes, United does need a player of Osimhen's caliber. We haven't had a striker like that, since Zlatan, and even him was over the prime. Same with Cavani. So Osimhen is in his prime. He's 26 years old. Like you said, he plays in Turkey, but he tore it up in Serie A. He plays very well for Nigeria and has played well in the Champions League as well. So I still think there's upside with Osimhen, with Hojlund. But if this is what it takes, obviously we're going to take that deal. But are they going to need money on their side? You do business with Serie A. It's usually not a good business for the English side. So what are your thoughts on this deal?
Look, Ornstein put a little cold water on it. He said it's interesting, but he's not sure how realistic it is. United has about 70 million into Rasmus Hojlund, and we obviously want him to come good. But we do need a striker, and I think this is kind of the theme, is Ineos, we don't have a lot of cash to play with. So it'd be nice to have both, but that's not realistic. So if we need to get Amorim as guy or a different profile of striker, we might need to get rid of a young prospect to fund that acquisition. And I think that's what we're seeing. But just a quick dive into Osimhen, who aren't familiar. He has done well in Turkey. Obviously, it's not a top league, but you look at the top strikers in Europe, goals per match. Gorkias, top of the table, 1.12. Why aren't we linked with him? We were in January.
You know why? Because they don't want no swap deal.
And Napoli may be a little frisky, but Osimhen 0.91. It is Turkey. He is scoring goals. I watched his highlights. He looks like what Marcus Rashford really should be for Manchester United. He has the pace. He has the lethal finish. He's got physicality, a little more physical than Marcus, but he's that classic number 9. One thing I did notice watching some highlights is he gets really good service. A lot of these goals are tap-ins that a Hojlund could score, and we're not really seeing a lot of service at the moment in this Manchester United squad. That could improve, but just something to think about with Victor Osimhen.
Well, he's got the high marketability. He's a big name, but then you have to worry about the African Cup of Nations, right? So he's going to go missing every other January, so that's no good. But he also has upside, right? He's not Premier League proven, but then again, neither was Rasmus Hojlund, and even still he isn't. But he's 26, and he's got a long road to run. It looks like he takes pretty good care of himself. So 26, you could have easily, 6, maybe more good years in the EPL. So I like this, given the fact that at the end of the day, United are broke. We have limited options. And if this is one of the chips that we have to play in order to get a player of his caliber, and we have to get rid of Hojlund, I think we're leaving. We overpaid for him in the first place. He can come good elsewhere, but I think they'd rather move him out, bring someone very high quality in, and then go for another cheap, maybe a Cheeto-esque or a slightly advanced Cheeto. But you got to play the cards you got, and I think that's one of the hands we have right at the moment is they're going to have to be creative this summer.
They're going to have to wheel and deal, sir. Top stats here, Osimhen, his football reference, non-penalty XG, 99th percentile. Shots, 99th percentile, sir. These are the stats you like to see. Touches the attacking penalty area, 99th percentile. He's all around the box, tons of shots, creates tons of XG, doesn't pass, selfish striker. It's what you want.
I like that.
Manchester United, it's a great profile. Osimhen has a great profile, but you'd like to pair him with someone like Hojlund.
It'd be a great compliment.
It'd be nice to have both at the end of the day at United, and I don't like the selling Garnacho. I don't like the dealing Hojlund, but we are going to have to make some of these difficult decisions because otherwise we're just going to be, tying Amram's other hand behind his back because we have to get players that fit his profile. I want to play that way. But let us know what you think in the comments below. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Only 30% of people who actually watch our channel actually subscribe. It's free. Subscribe, support the American Red Devils podcast, and we'll see you in the next video.